Hey guys, Coupons Provide here, and today I'm coming at you guys with a Target Dollar Spot cover flap DIY. Now I know that this has not been done before, but this whole thing was actually inspired by the Dollar Tree feather theme that they have going right now with the wall decals and the pins. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off by taking our Target Dollar Spot binder and a poly binder that you can find in a dollar store somewhere, and you want to make sure that you're working with a sharp blade. Once you have your blade and your poly binder, go ahead and take a ruler and simply push down hard on your cut line, which is going to be the line outside of the binder rings. I prefer using these binders because they are very flexible, which makes for a great wrap cover, and you can find them for very cheap. I found this one at King Dollar for $1.25, and I've also done other planner covers for my Happy Planner using the poly binders from Dollar Tree. Once we have both the front and back cover cut from the binder, we're going to go ahead and begin measuring our cuts to cover the Target Dollar Spot binder. I like to hold my piece down with tape because it helps it from slipping around since both surfaces are pretty slick. Now, though this part might seem a little complicated, it's probably just like that for me because I do have to keep in mind the camera frame and the angle, and I can't put my head all up in the camera, so it's a little bit more work for me, but it'd totally be easier for you guys when you can just kind of reach over and cut really quick. So when we make the front cover cut, we want to make sure that we have a very nice clean line cutting along the edge of the binder. And also, I don't want the back part where the spine of the binder is to flap over the edge, so I'm actually doing it on the inside line of the actual binder cover. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Okay, so you'll see that whenever I put the poly cover over the binder cover, there is a little gap on the end where you could see that I didn't cut all the way to the edge of the binder. That is a total preference. You could change that if you like. I just like to have that bright color peeking through on the left side. Now moving on to the back cover, we want to again tape down our surfaces to make sure that we get clean lines because you want your piece to look put together very nicely, and having clean lines and edges achieves exactly that. So whenever you cut your back flap, you want to make sure that you cut the top and bottom to a straight line. On the actual flap piece, you want that to be the longest side of the binder cover because it's going to flap over the front of your planner. Here goes a very quick look of the look that we're trying to achieve. Now, I chose to go with a clear binder because I really love the color palette on this Target Dollar Spot binder, so that was my whole thing about going for the clear poly binder. Now, whenever we're going to put the covers on, you want to make sure that you remove the tag because once somebody sees it, they're not going to believe that it only cost you $3. So once again, we're going to go ahead and tape our surfaces together to avoid any slipping and sliding. Again, you do not have to do this. I have to do this because I can't stand over and hold it or pull it to me to cut because of the camera. So I'm simply going to make sure that I have a sharp blade and begin my cut guidelines. I am cutting through the top poly binder down to the actual Target Dollar Spot binder, just enough to make sure that I have lines that I could see to cut all the way through. Now, the holes are actually going to take a little playing around and making sure you cut through enough, but I found it to be the most simple process by simply slicing until you reach through the paper, cut through on the other side, and kind of wiggle your blade to open up those holes. Now, the reason we are doing two slices side by side is because we are going to be using zip ties to attach the cover to the binder. You could definitely make it so much more cute if you have larger tools to puncture holes and add some maybe leather cording or something like that. But again, guys, when I create my projects, I like to keep in mind minimal tools and minimal supply and cost so that any and everybody can complete these projects. Whenever it comes to your own stash, definitely keep in mind all the product that you have accumulated and what you could use instead. But I find that these zip ties were probably going to be the most sturdy and most durable for long-lasting effect. So definitely keep that in mind as well, and you can find them in variety packs at dollar stores, so they are not a large cost at all. Now, if you've never really worked with zip ties before, just know that the flat back piece is where you are going to stick the end or the tail of the zip tie through. It's going to grip by every little tooth that slides all the way through, and that is how it stops it from sliding off. If when you pull your zip tie tight, it can still loosen, then you have put it on the wrong way. You're going to want to flip it around and stick it in through the flat back piece of the top of the zip tie. And that's pretty much how we make our actual flip cover. Now we want to help the cover fold nicely, so we're going to add a very thin hairline slit on the exterior of the cover. This is just going to allow it to have a guide to fold comfortably whenever you are flapping over your cover. And then we're going to go ahead and slightly bend that. We're not going to fold it into a hard crease unless you want to, but it just keeps some structure to the flap. Now we're going to go ahead and add our button closure for the locket, or I'll give you guys another tip in what to use further in the video, but I came across these awesome gorgeous lockets from King Dollar for $1.25, and I'm simply using a silver button that has a loop on the back, and we are going to put a hole in the cover to allow that loop to poke through so that we can stick the locket or a clamp through that to lock the planner cover. Once you have made your hole, you're going to go ahead and put the button through. Make sure that it's nice and clean lined around the loop, and you're going to adhere it. You can use some hot glue, but for me, I want a more permanent hold, so I'm going to use E6000 to make sure that it doesn't come apart. E6000 is one of my absolute most favorite adhesive glues, so I am simply putting on some of that. A little goes a long way with this stuff, and it doesn't dry super fast, so you can make adjustments if you need to. Once you're comfortable with the placement, we're going to go ahead and punch the hole in the actual flap, and this is going to allow the locket or whatever you use to go into place and hold the planner shut. You can test the placement and make sure that your hole is very clean by putting your locket or whatever it is that you're using to keep it shut through the loop to make sure that it slides in and out easily. Now we can set the planner aside and let our glue begin to thicken a little and start working on our tassel. Now I like to call mine pocket letter scrap tassels because I use all of my pocket letter pieces that you guys send to me or different product that you send in friend mails and so on, and to me it just makes them so much more special whenever all these products come from you guys and I get to make something with it. If you follow me on Instagram, then you would have seen some of the tassels that I made the other day, and they are absolutely gorgeous using the products that you guys have sent to me, and I just can't even express how much I appreciate all of those goodies and gifts and gestures. It's just really awesome to have you guys supporting the channel the way that you do. So basically all we're doing is taking a bunch of different types of products, cutting them all to a similar size, and we're going to trim it out later so they don't need to be completely perfect, just roundabout sizes. Once we have all of our products cut, we can go ahead and begin randomly placing them somewhat in a pattern. I like to make sure that I get all the different types of textures kind of randomly placed in there so you get a glimpse of everything as a full tassel whenever you're holding it up. because if you kind of layer them in a specific structured way, you won't get to see all the little different types of product peeking through. And plus, I don't like my tassels to be clean line and uniform. I like for them to look like they are tattered pieces of custom art that have a very natural touch to them. Once they are all laid out, we're going to take a smaller piece and tie a knot in the center and begin manipulating the material however you want it to sit inside of that knot. Once you've gotten it how you like it, you can take another piece and wrap it around the top of the tassel, creating a nice big loop or bubble, whatever you want to call it. And this is just going to be the top of your tassel. From there, we're going to start cleaning up the ends by trimming down any of the chain that you put into it. Simply remove the pieces. And don't toss those pieces because you could definitely use them in other tassels in the future. And you're going to take your scissors and trim up the ribbon and just make sure that everything looks somewhat clean at the bottom. So now that you've basically got the shape that you want for your tassel, you can go ahead and begin adding embellishments. I am taking a huge, gorgeous necklace that I had and breaking it down into embellishment pieces. The reason I chose to go with this necklace is because it was tarnished, so it was making my skin break out a lot more than usual, and I simply can't wear costume jewelry often because I will get irritated by it. But it makes gorgeous embellishments, so I'm still happy that I got this. And it has large pieces that have amazing detail on them. So I'm going to use some of the leaves from that piece along with a rose embellishment. It is a gorgeous piece and they look gorgeous with this tassel. And if you're curious, I'm simply using the links from the chain in individual pieces to kind of link the leaves onto the ribbon. And you can do this for all kinds of things. All you need is a round chain link. Open it, put your embellishment piece on there, and then close it whenever you want it to form the ring shape. I am also going to add on some rock skull heads because I feel like they stick to the natural theme of the feathers and the leaves and the rose, and they look like rock. So I thought it would just go together very well because it also factors in those pinks and natural colors that I'm trying to stick to in this tassel. As always, guys, there is no right or wrong way to do these things. Just do whatever calls to you. A lot of the times I have some really random looking tassels, and then I have some that are more uniform, more clean line, more girly or blinged out or dark, and there's just no right or wrong way. Just simply use what you want, whatever makes you feel like it's a special thing, and go with it. I also thought that I would mention that the needle nose pliers that I'm using were from Dollar Tree in the tool section. You don't need to have any high value or high cost tools whenever it comes to creating your projects. Using the basics is totally possible. So again, I would like for anybody with any amount of supplies or basic tools to try stuff like this, simply to kind of allow yourself to grow and be inspired and create things with your own hands and kind of get that feeling and that satisfaction of looking at those things that you've created, maybe even when you thought you had no ability to do so. I gotta say, guys, I've about had it with people and their negativity and always putting other people down, and I think that starting from small little tiny projects like this and growing in confidence within yourself and pride within yourself in achieving small little tasks is such a great way to begin to build a foundation and faith and belief in yourself, and I think this is just an awesome way to do it. So whenever you guys express to me how awesome it is whenever you complete one of these projects and you're able to complete it and you're so proud of it, that is what means the world to me about this channel. So if you're ever experiencing negativity or negative people around you, feel free to come back and visit the channel at any time, because this is what this channel is for, and I just really want you guys to know that. So basically all I've done now is taken a piece of the chain and looped it through the top of the tassel, and I'm going to use that for two reasons. One is to hold the actual keys to the locket, but if you don't need that, then you can simply use it to put it into your binder ring so that it loops out of the actual binder. So once that part is done, you can kind of get an idea here of what we're going to be doing with the locket and the tassel, and you can see how comfortably it fits in the binder ring, and you could simply put it in the binder over all the rest of the pages so that it's not messing up your pages in your binder, and it'll hang out like that and look so adorable. And with this, we're actually going to create an elastic band keep it together pouch, because why not, right? Because it's just a really cute pouch and I want to make one. So for this, it's super simple. You just need an elastic band that you can find a huge pack in at Walmart for $2.77, and a hot glue gun and a pouch. You can take your end of your elastic band, hot glue it between the pouch ends, and pinch it and let it dry. And then you're gonna do that on the other end by simply wrapping it around your planner, making sure it has a nice firm fit, leaving a little bit of room for growth, and hot glue it into the other side, and your pouch is complete. As always, you could stick around to the end of the video and see a couple of video clips of other tutorials that I have created kind of along the same lines. I thought now would be a good time to go ahead and show you an alternative for the locket. So as you can see, you need something that can clamp through the hoop, so all I did was take one of my embellishments and added a loop ring to it, basically the end of a necklace, and hooked it into the loop, and it basically serves the same purpose as the locket. Now this idea is nothing new, but we're going to take one of the existing Target Dollar Spot divider pages and use it as a cut guide to repurpose some file folders and make divider pages. Just make sure that you keep in mind the print that is on the surface of your cuts. You want to make sure that whatever image you want showing on your divider is under the cut surface. Once you've made your cuts, you can go ahead and punch your holes to fit your binder. I'm going to be using the Dollar Tree wall decals to embellish my dividers. These are really adorable decals, and it comes with a ton of product, so it's definitely worth the $1 and repurposing it into your divider embellishment. You can simply put them on the divider sheets as is, or you can dress them up a little bit like I'm gonna do. Alright guys, so that is pretty much it for this Target Dollar Spot binder planner tutorial. I really do hope that you enjoy and got some inspiration to create some affordable, adorable pieces for your own Target Dollar Spot binder and customize it to your needs and to your preference. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Google Plus at Coupon to Provide. And don't forget guys, keep couponing. Bye!